Well, hello and welcome to another Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. I do hope that you are doing well. I'm sure that you are. What we're looking at today is we're continuing our work on environmental sustainability. It's a course which is run by TLM, and it's their Formula E course that I've adapted. And you could come out with a level 1 or level 2 qualification. You need to do all of the 8 lessons. And this is lesson 7. We've looked at things like global warming, we've looked at climate change, we've looked at energy, the national grid, sustainability, and today we're thinking about the classic 3 R's. But before we worry about that too much, go and grab your pen and paper. Here's our cheesy intro sequence. So, today's lesson is called Helping the Environment. Okay, we've all got to admit it's probably a fairly good thing to help the environment. So we're going to help the environment, and you need to get that down. We've got a geography focus as well in today's lesson. And we're going to identify items that can be recycled. We're going to describe how safely recycling computer equipment, and we're going to discuss what reduce, reuse and recycle is. So we're going to describe how the world should be, this is our specification criteria, describe how the world should be approaching recycling in terms of technological materials. So we've got quite a lot that we're going to cover. Do make sure you've got the title down. As always, you are going to need to pause me as we go. So, simple things. What rubbish do you have that you think is recyclable? Okay, so you're going to need to pause me and I'd like you to come up with an idea, a little list of things that you think already that you know of that are recyclable. So with your little list done, I've got a little fun clip that I found online which I'd like you to watch now. Okay, so what I'd like you now to do is to draw this little tea table out, as I like to call it. A tea table, because it looks like a tea. And you're going to put recyclable on one side and non-recyclable on the other. And I'm going to put a series of pictures up on the screen, and I'd like you to write down what order they go in, you think. Okay, and we're going to cross-check those afterwards. So, recyclable one side, non-recyclable the other, and then I'm going to put a load of pictures up. Here you are. Okay, so you're going to need to pause me and work out where you think they go. So which are recyclable, which are non-recyclable? Pause me now. Okay, and here are the answers. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I've got another clip to show you. I'm going to put some questions above where I am at the moment, and these are the questions. The questions are: why is reduce, reuse and recycle in that order? Write a sentence about each step, so you can say what reduces, what reuses, what recycle is, really not complicated, and give an example of something in each stage. So I'm going to play this to you now. I'd like you to watch this and give those 3 questions a go, and then you'll be back with me.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, in that order. Great things come in small packages and you can never have enough of a great thing, right? Problem is, that's a lot of packaging. That's why the first step in the 3 R's is to reduce. Luckily, we've got choices. Good things can also come in one big package, using less of our resources now, saving more for later. And that's why reduce comes first in reduce, reuse, recycle. In a close second comes reuse, because that empty container is no one-hit wonder. With a little reinvention, it can live another day, and that's one less new product that needs to be manufactured, meaning one more lick here for everyone, and one more lick here for you. Step 2 can be found nearly everywhere, but it goes by many names. Some know it as rechargeable, others as donatable, and many more as machine washable, making all of these things reusable and, in a way, reducible. But that brings us to the fan favorite, the pretty sister of the 3 R's, recycle. Everyone is chanting your number 1, but they should be chanting your number 3. Don't get me wrong, 3 is still great. Trash can only ranks in at 2,082, just ahead of Feed It to an Infant, so 3 is up there. But there is a reason why there are another 2 in front of it, because the recycling process still uses plenty of resources in itself. But that is to make sure that we aren't turning the Rocky Mountains into landfills, a noble effort, so there's no question about it. But the point to remember is that there are easier paths. So the next time you see one of these on the bottom of one of those, consider all 3 steps in order: reduce, reuse, recycle.
Okay, so here are a list of things that can be recycled. Okay, really not difficult. All you're going to do is watch this, and I'd like you trying to remember 10 to 15 of them. Okay, try and remember, you don't need to write them down, try and remember 10 to 15 things that could be anyway, here we are. Spreeder, let's watch this. Okay, now tell me those 10 to 15 things. Go on, I need to hear it. Speak up. Obviously, you don't need to tell me. But I wonder if you can remember like some things that can be recycled, and that's amazing. Now, the other thing is there's a lot of stuff that can get recycled that aren't on that list, that isn't collectible by what we call the curbside. There's a lot of things that you can actually take to local recycling centres. So here is a tip or a local recycling centre, and this is their sort of advert of things that can be recycled. It's got the standard things like cardboard and household waste actually can't be recycled. But it's also got things like batteries, which technically can't be recycled, but if you take them there, then they can dispose of them safely. It's got paper, it's got plastic bottles, all of them they would be separated, ideally at a tip, whereas if they put you in your bins, quite often curbside bins, everything just gets thrown in and the council then sort it for you. But it's also got things like tyres, which can't be recycled, but they can be reused, even if they're damaged. Fridge and freezers, they can strip out loads of the metal from it, make sure that gases are removed from it. You've got things like cartons, mixed glass. Anyway, you can see a load of stuff there. And so if you've got something that you need to bin and you can't put it in your curbside, then take it to a recycling centre and you actually find that there's a lot of stuff that can be done there. Okay, so our main task is coming up. Our main task for this is to create a leaflet about how and why you should recycle old computers or mobile phones. Okay, so that's your thing. So you're going to create a leaflet about how or why you should use recycle old computers or mobile phones. So you're going to need to take some notes from what we're about to do. There's also a link which is there. Again, I'll put this in the description below. Which is http://tiny.cc/fpl-computer, and that will take you to a website that goes through how to recycle an old computer. Now, there are other things as well, which we're about to see on a video clip. So it may be worth taking some notes because you know that this is the task that you're getting to. So let's watch this clip now.
Ooh, yeah. We've had a good run, old chap. Let's be real. We all get excited when we get the latest and greatest gadget, but as time moves on, these new toys become old and slow, and suddenly you want something new again. Do you find yourself thinking, now what do I do with this? Electronics aren't made to last forever, and all tech companies don't mind if you upgrade every year or two. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because of this, all these old gadgets usually end up in your closet or garage for years. It's like an old friend that you just can't bear to get rid of, so you just keep it. But my friends, it's time to let go. So what's the best thing to do, you ask? Donate or recycle. Donate your old PCs and phones to groups that will fix and clean them and put them back into use. Even that old Windows XP system can probably be used by someone else.
Well, there are hazardous materials in electronics like lead and mercury, and compounds such as chlorofluorocarbons and hydrochlorofluorocarbons. And these hazardous substances may deplete our ozone layer. When electronics are being incinerated, harmful substances like lead and mercury may leach and contaminate landfills and water catchments, and they may also harm the workers who are handling the waste. Also, incineration increases our carbon footprint and it worsens global warming and the climate crisis too. So here are several tips for you to consider before tossing any form of electronics into the trash. If your electronic item is slightly faulty but still functioning, you can either sell, donate, or repair it. You can also donate usable electronics to the Salvation Army, Minds Shop, or Thrift Mart.
How to recycle your old electronics. Have a computer too old to sell? A hopelessly dated phone? Don't just toss them into the garbage where they will leach toxic materials into the soil and water. Recycle them. You will need time to research recycling options and a delivery method. Step 1. If you're upgrading to a new version of your current computer, check with the manufacturer about trading in the old one. Dell, Hewlett-Packard, Toshiba, and Apple all offer take-back programs. Before getting rid of your computer, make sure to use a software disk wiping utility to completely destroy any sensitive information on your hard drive. Step 2. Donate your old computer, printer, and software to charity. Some options are the National Christina Foundation, Share the Technology, TechSoup, Students Recycling Used Technology, and Ann Bubnick's PEP Directory. Step 3. Find recycling centers for everything from laptops to MP3 players through the Electronic Industries Alliance. Some major office supply chains now accept all kinds of used electronics for recycling, even if they were not purchased there.
Brilliant. Okay, so this is your main task then, as we've already spoken about and gone over with you. Before we do that, let's just recap. We said we'd identify items that could be recycled. Okay, hopefully you've got some good ideas about that now. Talk about safely recycling computer equipment, mobile phones. Hopefully you've got your leaflet. Talked about what reduce, reuse, recycle is. And so yeah, so there we go. So there you are. That's your task. If you haven't got it done, now's the time to do it. Give yourself however long you need to do it. Remember, level 1 is less quality than level 2, so you want to be putting as much detail in as you can to get that level 2 qualification out of it. Thanks very much for your time. Take care of yourself, stay safe, wash hands, and I'll speak to you soon.